What's up, everybody? On a podcast now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if Battlefield 2042 should be delayed. That's kind of the central topic. I do want to talk about the beta. I played quite a bit of it. Now, I should preface this by saying that my opinions of this game are not based off of, like, my skill level. So just because I'm, like, one of the worst players you may have ever seen does not mean that I hold that, against the game. I want to make that, very clear that I don't have, like, a vendetta against the game because I'm so bad at it. But I did play, for as horrible as I am, I got better as time went on. Now, the footage you guys are seeing is not me being very good, but as time went on, I got my kill to death ratio around 1, I'd say, a kill for every death, but I started to do pretty good, maybe 20, 25 kills a match. I was getting up there. I played roughly, I would say 20 matches is probably how many, 20 full matches is how many matches I played of this game, and it's very much a mixed bag. It is. I will say this, at its peak, when everything is kind of going right or when everything's going big, right, the game is astounding in terms of, like, you've never seen something quite like it. I would say basically in any game, but even like a shooter. It's a special, like when the rocket takes off, when the rocket explodes and it doesn't take off, when the tornado comes in, when the tornado doesn't breach the map, or when the tornado goes completely through the map, it is a next level thing. You'll never experience something, you haven't experienced something like it. I truly believe that. And, there's 6 more maps to go. We only got to play 1. Now, I played this on the PS5, so I played this on next gen. Another thing I heard is that there was a big we know there's a big difference in how the game is in terms of, like, size, in terms of map size, in terms of destructibility. We know how different it is between last gen and current gen, right? It's a pretty big difference. But also from what people have said online, like the bugs, glitches, things like that were astoundingly horrible on, last gen consoles, whereas they were better on, current gen PS5, Series X and S, but they weren't spectacular. I mean, I had that issue where it would be like the lens flare, where things would just be so bright and would, like, blind you. I mean, there were many issues in this game. I also felt, for as big as the map was and as really cool in the key battle areas of the game, the biggest thing I noticed too was, well, when you're trying to go from one place to the other, there's just this huge nothingness. You know what I mean? For as big of the map is, and as much of it as it wants you to make it like, or make you feel like you're in an all-out war, which it does in certain times, the in-between parts of getting to, like, the hot spots of the map is, like, meaningless. There's nothing in between. Like, obviously there's trees and grass, but there's, like, nobody there, so it kind of feels like, well, you don't really need to have it in the game in general. Now, I'm saying all of this, and hopefully you guys understand, like, why am I saying all this? Well, because the central question I think really comes up is, should the game be pushed? I don't think games need to be afraid of pushing themselves for quality. The biggest thing, look, Battlefield has sealed the deal no matter what. This is a game that rests on 7 maps. That's it. That is it. Now, you can love it or you can hate it. And I know there are people that are both, or like one or the other. There's people in between, whatever. But that's where it's at. There's no single player coming. Sure, there's, like, hazard mode, and obviously where you can, like, create your own, and then there's the mode where you can create your own maps and have your own rules and stuff, or use the maps, of, like, previous. I don't mean actually make your own maps, but, like, those are going to be cool. There's additional value there. But in terms of, like, a new game, right, where you get to play these 7 maps, that's it. So you better make sure that they're good and they run properly upon release. Now, one thing that makes me very upset, and this is something that kind of went on Reddit, is all of the things that, Battlefield has taken out of the games throughout the years. And it's like a 4.5-minute video. In fact, the thread adds more stuff to it, and it's just dozens and dozens of things that could have made this game taking even another step forward that was taken away from it. And it really reminded me of, like, the EA Sports games, where it's like, if you just add in half the things you've taken out in the last 15 years, you'd have the game of the generation right now. You would. If you had Battlefield 2042 and you put half the things you had taken out of the past, like, 3 or 4 Battlefields, you put them in, you'd be golden. So it's again, very mixed bag. I don't want to come across either way, because I'm definitely not a hater. Like, I like Battlefield quite a bit. Battlefield 4 is my favorite one. I want this game to be good. I'm fully intending on buying this game day one. Overall, I enjoyed the beta. I did. I had when the huge moments are taking place in this game, It's incredible. Or when you're just in like an all-out battle, you're in a building that's being shot at and it's just kind of like collapsing around you, or the walls are breaking. Like, it's insane. And it's the reason why I play. It's the reason I guess I kept playing it, because if those things didn't happen, I guess I wouldn't play it. And which, though, I will say, like, they don't happen often. The tornado, I experienced the tornado 2 times. 2 out of 20 matches. So 10% I experienced a tornado. The rocket took off once, and it blew up once. So 2 times. So out of 20 and I do believe, like, literally it was 20 exact matches. Out of 20 matches, those big events happen 4 times in all. In each in different, like, never was the rocket the same as the tornado. They always happen in different matches. Now, I don't know what the percentage is like for you guys, but for me, like, 4 out of 20 isn't very high. The rest of it is just a really big battlefield of fighting. And again, like, I'm not very good at it. I did get better over time, where I just felt more comfortable, and I felt like I wasn't dying nonstop without contributing to the team. So I did feel like I belonged there a little bit more than I did early on. So, like, there is a learning curve, and again, for someone as bad as me, like, it takes it takes longer to get it. But again, I don't want to come across either side, because I do like it, but I also do have, like, many problems with it. But I don't want to come across as like a hater, because I'm not hating this game just to hate on it. I feel like I have very valid reasons to say the negative things about the game that I am. It has a lot of problems. If the game came out in the state that it was at in this open beta for everybody, any console, any generation, I think it would be considered a colossal failure. I really do think so. And you can make excuses for them, and that's fine. I would make excuses for them too, because it is a beta and there is time to improve. And they did say, if you believe them, they did say, this is months and months old. This beta was months old, and they have better versions working now. Again, though, the thing is, this game really launches as the main thing with these 7 maps. So if the servers suck, which the servers were actually the best part of it, if the servers suck, if there's just, I don't know, if there's lagging, which I guess would, again, be connected to the servers, but if there's all of these, like, clipping things and this seizure, stuff that's going on, in the game, all of these things that are going to give you epilepsy, like, if these things are still in the game when it launches, it's a problem, and it's always been a problem. By the way, I'm always one that has complained about games being broken at launch, okay? I'm not a fan of every game doing a day 1 patch, so it's not also like nobody should be able to come at me with, oh, well, you're just saying, every game gets a day 1 patch. No, every game is at fault for this, but the thing is, if you're going to launch as a multiplayer-only game, and you're going to launch with 7 multiplayer maps, but then you have these kind of issues happening in the game, well, that's going to hurt it 1,000 times more than if that was an aspect of the game. Like, if it was a single-player game that also had multiplayer and there were some issues, you could work your way around it. But when these things are so apparent, that's a big problem. It's a huge problem. So, I don't know. I want to say I'm worried about the game, but, like, at the same time, like, I'm gonna give it a chance. I overall was, like, I enjoyed myself, but there's just a lot of rough around the edges, just things everywhere about this game. And then again, maybe I wouldn't be so hard on it if I didn't, like, my cousin sent me the Reddit thread, and you guys can probably look it up. Like, just look up, like, things that Battlefield has removed in the past on Reddit. And, like, it's, like, it makes you mad. You know what I mean? Like, you can, if you didn't see that video, right? So, like, 2 days ago, I didn't see that video. I was fine. Like, I would have actually said way more positive things about the beta. But then you watch all of this, and again, it's the same thing with the sports games. You watch everything they've stripped away to make these games just so bare bone. And yeah, they still may be cool. And, like, again, like, I had fun, and there are some very cool moments in 42's, beta. But you look at all the stuff they took away, and it's like, Jesus Christ, like, just put it back in, just insert it back in. Like, why is it so difficult to do that? I don't know. And then you look at it, and you only have 7 maps, and it's like, so you have less. You have less content than ever before, I'd argue, even though it's bigger, even though there's going to be things that are happening in these maps, you really, I think, probably factually and statistically, have less things in your game than ever before, and less maps and all this stuff, less content. Like, what's stopping you from just putting some old stuff back in? So it's tough. I really think a delay should happen, just because, like, you need to make sure these things work. I get it. People would be very upset, but I mean, like, again, like, look at Cyberpunk, and I know that's such I don't know, it's been brought up so many times. I hate bringing it up because I'm not into that. I'm not into bringing it up at all. But I mean, the point still stands. Like, people are going to be mad, but if the game comes out and it just doesn't work, or it gets laughed at into oblivion, like, that's infinitely worse than you delaying it. You know what I mean? Delay it till January. I know you're missing the end of this year, the fiscal quarter as well. You're missing Black Friday, but like, I don't know. Do you want it to sell? Because like, word of mouth will hurt it. It will, and reviews will hurt it, and all these people making fun of it will hurt it. And you can avoid that stuff, I'd say, relatively easily if you give yourself a couple more months. Now, they did give themselves They give themselves, what, 1 month by delaying it. Give yourself another one or two, you know. So I don't know. I if it comes out, fine. And I don't think it's gonna be delayed, by the way. I do think it's just gonna come out as it is. And I'm still gonna play it, you know, and I'll give my honest feedback on it. But I think it should be delayed for many different reasons. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you thought about the beta in general in the comments. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. I will be covering this game quite a bit, you know, leading into the launch, and then when it comes out, you know, we'll talk all about it, see how it is, you know, at launch. All my social media, my Twitter, my second channel, and our Patreon and YouTube memberships, the links for them are in the description if you guys want to check them out. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.